Welcome, everybody, to the show. Hopefully, everything sounds and looks okay. With me is our friend Mark Ruggiero. Mark, thanks for stopping by, and we're going to try and help Mark out tonight when we're going to dedicate the show to him, and we're going to talk to him about wargaming and other stuff, and hopefully we'll sell some games as well. In addition, I'd like to announce that our friends over at War Diary Magazine have offered 3 subscriptions, which we will be giving away. Well, and by giving away, I mean I'll be asking for a donation somehow, whether that's through the Mark and his wife's GoFundMe, which is linked in the video description, or to we can work it out in the same manner that we're going to sell some games, which is basically Mark's going to handle it. And I will just keep badgering you nice folks for more money. So thanks, Mark, for coming.
Well, let's say I'm super excited and happy for to do this, and me and my wife really appreciate it. And got to do my, get some merchandise, right? So, and everybody, knows I love the hobby. They're pretty public about what's going on, and I just appreciate this is a little different than watching your video, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, it's a very different experience. Yeah. So I do have one piece of, I'm not clipping or drinking, well I'm drinking the beverage of my people, Diet Mountain Dew. It'd be regular Mountain Dew if we were still youngsters. Right. But nowadays we're all old and fat and diabetic, so we gotta be drinking the Diet Mountain Dew up on, or our A1C will go bananas again. But I do have one piece of news that I need to. I don't want to really talk about news. I'll mention that MMP put up Ardennes 2, SCS Ardennes 2 up for pre-order, so go check that out. If you're interested in a nice, pretty meaty SCS Battle of the Bulge game. But I was actually asked by ID Jester to mention that they're doing their 2023 gaming competition. So tune in to the War Room on Saturday afternoon over at ID Jester's channel. They'll be doing the announcements and all that stuff. And the basic gist of it is you list 10 games you're going to play that year, and if you play all 10 games, you get entered in some drawings and stuff. They've been doing this for a couple of years. Jester has already played 10 games this year, of course, and that was by like last Friday. So because that's Jester, and he's already done 106 videos so far, and we're 9 days into the year. So wow. That's just the way he operates over there in Crazy Town. So let me give a shout out to Alan. I got somebody with no name in here. That's weird. Alan Salazar, Alexander Fontaine Rousseau, Alistair Logie, Brent McCabe, Charles Latorre, Chris Gibbon, Dale Brady, Ed Meister, HUN644, ID Jester is here, Iggy Crichtal, James Whitmer, Jeff Anderson, Jeff Beeler, Joe Okabayashi, John Clark, Carl Crater from the Wargame Bootcamp, Kevin Bertram, Kilroy is here, Kyle Reese, Lee Grant. Well, thanks, Lee, for becoming a new patron, by the way. Mac Rugby, Mark G, Mark McQuitty, Matt F, Meandering Mike, Michael Simon, Old Lady Plays, Roy Matheson, Scott Bell, Sofa Kings, Thomas Bandy, Thomas Fairfowl, welcome to the stream, Tim Greenhaw, Vince Ree, Wade Moore, and William Bird. I apologize if I didn't get you, but YouTube's acting up again, and there's that one person who shall remain nameless because YouTube's literally I got an icon and no name, so I don't know what's up with that. So
it's possible. I did invite some family members and stuff to watch. They may not have a YouTube account. I don't know if that was how it would show up.
Hilariously, my mom discovered in the last, 3 months or something like that I am a celebrity on YouTube, apparently. And it's a very small celebrity. So they get together, they get the whole family together and make popcorn and watch the streams on Monday nights. And she has not the slightest fucking clue what anybody's talking about. So, and then after the stream, I get a text, "You should shave, get a haircut."
I love it. Oh, that's awesome.
You look like that guy from Canned Heat.
Oh, Lord. Oh. Canned Heat. I don't even know what that is. I got to be honest. But
they played at Woodstock.
Oh, okay.
Which is, reasonably speaking, before our generation, but still, right. That's the guy that sounds like Kermit the Frog.
I'm an 80s metalhead, so, you know, so.
That was the stuff I started listening to when I when I started listening to music, which would have been in the early 80s, I think. I wasn't
Okay.
really paying much attention until then, because we had what we had in the house, and I didn't have a radio, so I listened to whatever like old vinyl my dad had, including like James Bond soundtracks and that kind of stuff. It
Okay.
was absolutely weird. So
And that,
the legendary Fucko is here. Abraxas MF, welcome
hey,
if I didn't get you before. And your brother Ron Mark is here apparently. So
yeah.
welcome,
All
Ron.
right.
So I would like to thank everybody for turning out tonight. So Mark, let me start our conversation by asking, and I'll relate my story very briefly too. But everybody's heard it a million times, so I will put minimal effort into that. But how did you get started wargaming, and when, and with what games?
Okay, so right. I actually never get tired of talking about it. So I was 10 years old, 1975, and I was in the like Stratego and can't not tank K-Man. I can't remember the actually. Ideal did a game where you pulled the string to blow the tank up.
I think I
And
remember
the
that.
ads had Rommel and Montgomery. And anyways, but yeah, chess, played my army men in the backyard like most kids, and so one day I had a subscription to Boys Life magazine and, my parents, and one day, I don't know, I'm looking through it. I can't say I really read it. I don't remember. I was 10, right? And there was an ad for this game, Tactics 2. And little did I know, I learned years later that Monarch Publishing published Boys Life magazine at the
Oh,
time.
did they?
So,
I don't think
yeah,
I maybe
yeah.
I knew that.
They were the
If I knew that, I had forgotten that.
Yeah, they were the publisher. I don't know if they, were involved, but they did the printing of it, I should say.
By the
Sorry,
late
my bad.
70s, they're trying to clear out old inventory of Tactics too.
Right, right. But and I knew this little, toy store that I remember and went to my parents and I at the time got, I don't know how much for an allowance, a buck a week maybe or something. I don't remember. And I saved up my $5 and bought Tactics 2 and
$5.
took me probably 6 months. I was probably 11 before I figured out how to actually play it because it's I think sometimes we all forget that wargaming has its own language. And
Mhm.
um, and then after that, I say the rest is history. I mean, that Christmas, I got my parents love them. They bought me Third Reich. It was like going from first grade to college, I think, and God knows how many years it took before I figured that out. But I mean, that's how it all started. And then, honestly, the next two games I bought after that were with my own money was Panzer Leader and Panzer Blitz. I'll never
So,
forget that.
so it's funny that we used to see that that Monarch published Boys Life was something I didn't know, but it's funny that we used to see mainstream advertising for war games and RPGs too.
Right.
So I became aware of wargaming as a thing. I was probably 9, but from an ad in science, what was called Science News magazine, which my parents were all about. Oh, this looks educational, sure. And it was like $1 because it was like a 16-page magazine. But they had an ad for S&T in there, and they ordered some. I talked them into, or something happened, and they talked me into. I talked them into getting me like that 4-issue subscription to S&T. And I remember the first game showed up. Of course, it was be well beyond my comprehension at age 9 or 10.
Right.
And it was Paratroop. I think it's S&T number like 77 or 78 or something like that. 780, maybe 80, something like that. And that may have been not the brand new issue at the time, but that was my introduction. And but like by the time I had like a little bit of money, like teenager money, SPI was gone. So if I was going to go to the store, which was KB Hobby at the time, which is the best place to go, although you could get, of course, war games at JC Penney. Well, I don't know about JC Penney, but
Rite
here you
Aid
could.
Pharmacy out here in California. I
Yeah,
remember buying
pharmacies.
Storm over Arnhem.
Yeah. But I mean, it was there was a lot of Avalon Hill, right? So even though I started with SPI, I ended up with a lot more Avalon Hill, and I probably didn't. Of course, those original magazines were long gone, even by the time I was a teenager. So I probably didn't play another SPI game until I was probably 30, actually.
Wow.
So, by then they were rare collectibles. I owned a few, War of the Ring and stuff like that, and a few others. I had a copy of War Between the States at one point as well.
I was a total Avalon Hill snob, and only because they had mounted maps, SPI didn't. And I will say this: so I did buy like Hitler's War when it was metagaming, and got into Car Wars and some other things. But I never forget. I actually didn't discover any SPI games till basically they were almost going out of right when they were going out of business, because I bought World War III. I thought, man, oh, that looks so cool, right? The cover with the the missile on the, if you remember, it had I forgot what the vehicle is, but anyways, it had a missile on the front, and I'm like, World War III. And I just, yeah, needless to say, I remember reading the rules, and by that time I was old enough to understand what I was reading pretty much. But it was like, so because I was probably around 15, I want to say it was like 1980, because it was like literally within, towards the end. And of course I didn't have, and I just turned off. I do remember a buddy of mine, and I'll share that later, about squad leader, I guess, but they used to go do sleepovers, and the one thing he would do, he said, oh man, and we never did, because it was $35 for War in the Pacific. So even when I was like 13, 14, I had I had a fetish for monsters, I guess, but we couldn't afford the $35. So
yeah, it's funny that so many of us, we're intrigued by monsters at the time. And it's not until 30 or 40 years later that we actually have a place to play such a thing, right?
Right.
In anything other than a thoroughly slapdash way, right? I mean, you could set it up on a garage floor or something like that and play it for an afternoon, but sooner or later, mom's going to come home and want to park the car.
Right. We used to, really quick. So the friend of mine I'm talking about actually grew up in Oroville, which is a small town north of where I'm at now, about an hour and a half. But he had like I don't know, a playroom, a rec room, I guess. They had a ping pong table in there, so we'd always play games. And we were too broke to spend the 35, so we used to make our own games, and like literally get paper, draw the hexes, like we'd make up shit, and but that was like when I was in like 7th, 8th grade, so whatever age that was. And
yeah,
lost touch with him years ago, but
yeah. So what's the first game? I guess we'll kind of break these up with some questions. So I know Mark's got some stuff he would like to sell, so I think the way we're going to do this is Mark has said he's going to ship the games, and we'd like to get them all out tomorrow. So I put Mark's email in the video description. Well, not in the video description because that would be bad, but in the ticker down below. Where the hell did it go? All right, let me fix that. I know I put it in. So, but am I looking at the wrong ticker? No. Let me fix that. Tell us about the first game you're going to unload, Mark.
Okay, I'll do that. And I do want to clarify one thing. I'm going to do my best to get as many of these out tomorrow as I can. Tomorrow afternoon, I am heading to Portland to visit my brother Ron, so I may not get them out till the next Wednesday. But I just want to be upfront, right? Most people know I've been around selling I'm going to get as many of them shipped out tomorrow as I can before I leave. So
all right, yeah, and whoever we determine the buyer to be, we're not running an auction here, but Mark's going to have a price that he's going to name, and if somebody wants to give Mark extra, because that's why we're here, then we will declare that person the winner, and that person will send an email to Mark and can PayPal him the money, and Mark will get it out very soon.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Nobody's going to get burnt if you don't get it out till next week, I'm sure. Certainly, I got a surprisingly small amount of complaining from me taking 5 weeks to ship out the last of the giveaways.
Oh, Lord.
So I think we'll be okay.
Yeah, anybody that knows has bought from me before knows I'm really prompt and pack really well. And I want to be clear, shipping is included as long as you're in the United States, okay? If you're Canada, we can figure it out, or I will ship overseas. Those definitely won't go out till next week. But I assume so. The first, I'm going to start with the low brow
Panzer
stuff,
battles.
right? So MMP Panzer Battles. It's a standard combat series game. It's in the shrink wrap, and remember, I'm including, like you said, shipping in this. I've actually played this. It's in the shrink because I know most of you won't believe it that know me. I accidentally ordered extra copy from them. So, and but me and a buddy played this when it first came out. We enjoyed it. I enjoyed SCS, and I do want to say I know Gary brought it up earlier about Ardennes 2. Pre-order it. Like, I know we're not here to. Well, I'm gonna just pump it because I love the original Ardennes, and
It's
I'm
a
an
classic.
optimist, so I have Ardennes 2 on pre-order. So, but anyways, Panzer Battles. It's 11th Panzer on the Chur River. It's been a little bit since I played it, and like I said, we're going to start with the slow end. So I'm just asking, since I'm including the shipping on this, $45.
Boy, that's a great price. So I think we should remember, folks. We're helping a friend out. So I think I fixed the email in the ticker, so we can relax on that. But I thank you, HUN644, for catching that. I wouldn't have thought that. So if anyone would like to pay 45, this is well under MSRP, by the way. So Tim Greenhouse says 55. And that is a bargain right there, including the $20 for shipping, right? So if anybody wants to offer more than that for SCS Panzer Battles, which I've actually played too, it's a good sized game. It's a game that would have been at home with in OCS, to be honest.
It is. It is.
So,
2 maps, right? If I remember, it's been a little bit. Yep.
Yeah, and it's got some new. I believe it's a Dean Essig design. In addition to Dean being the series designer, and it's got some interesting new SCS ideas in it too. It's got a chip pull mechanism in it, for example.
Correct.
It is. I think it's two maps. Is it not?
It is 2 maps.
Okay.
Yep. In fact, I can read the components really quick. So it's 2 maps. Of course, your standard combat series rule book, a game specific rule book, 2 6-sided dice, and it's 1 full counter sheet, which is, I forgot how many their counter sheets are.
280.
280.
And
it is designed by Dean Essig and developer Dean, and then of course or developer or designer is Dean, and then the developer is Lee Forrester. So
yeah, Lee was the honcho SCS honcho for a while, I thought.
I think he was. Really quick little piece of trivia about Dean Essig that I didn't know, but infamous from 3W, Compass is going to redo it, but Hitler's Last Gamble.
Yep.
Dean Essig did the map for it.
For the new one or the original?
The 3W map.
Really? I didn't know that.
I did not know that. That's what's in the credits. I'm just telling you because I was looking at that game the other day.
I mean, Dean's trained as a cartographer, so that makes complete sense to me. But Paul Grassmere, thank you very much, offers 125.
Oh, wow.
So if anybody else wants to beat that, which I would encourage you all to do, well, not all of you, because you can't all beat it, but if you want to help brother out, and it's going to a good cause, and if nobody else beats that in the next minute or so, then I will declare Paul the winner. And Paul, you will email Mark with your info and PayPal him the money. So, and that is much appreciated. A reminder, folks, that the GoFundMe link to the GoFundMe for Mark and his wife is also in the video description. I didn't want to put that in the ticker because that's a pain in the ass having to type all that out. So I don't like to you shouldn't put like email addresses or like links that you don't want to get spammed in video descriptions. Speaking of spam, here's the hot girls. The hot girls are here. They're here again. Thankfully, we've got our vigilant moderators, Andrew Frankie and John Longshore, here to step on them. So it is much appreciated.
Awesome.
So I've got Prit Buttar. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly or not. I've got 2 of his books. I'm not sure Prit Butar is a he. So now that I think about it, but they're supposed to be really good, and I just haven't gotten to them yet. I've been reading a book on Napoleon and Marengo and Hohenlinden, and I have been remiss in reading of late because I've just ran out of time starting in like October. So
if I can, I just thank you. Really quick, I just gonna say I'll probably say it a few more times. I hope I don't get emotional because this is emotional, all of it. But my wife's support is very, we're all just so appreciative of supportive friends, family, but the Wargaming, you guys have just been phenomenal. And I want to give a quick shout out. I don't know if he's still on, but Scott Bell, high school buddy. We go back many moons, and we used to sit in Mr. Aiello's history class and still aced it. And all we talked about was war games. So, of course, he was.
Hey, they're educational, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's right. So anyways, I digress.
All right. So, Paul Grassmere, we're declaring you the winner of the Panzer Battles game. So, shoot Mark the money and your information, and he will get it out to you promptly. So lately, Mark, I know that you've been delving into the wonderful world of La Bataille, and I know you're playing Lenny as your So why did you're starting with you're starting with is it the 5th edition?
So the 5th edition rules are what comes in the 2nd edition of the game, right?
Yes.
And I guess I'll let you finish your question, or I don't know.
Well, I was momentarily confused whether it was 4th or 5th edition because at this point I may have one with 4th edition rules in it. But why did you pick the 4th edition rules specifically? Is it just because that's the set that came in the box, or?
So yeah, 5th edition came in the box. I think that what I did, there's oh my God, and I'm trying to total blank now. There is a guy that he hasn't done any YouTube videos in a few years, but I think and I could look when I get a second, share it later, but there's like a comparison between
Ruggiero.
And it's a deep dive into La Bataille. I've recommended it a few times. So.
Oh yeah, he did. I don't know, about maybe half a dozen videos. I've seen those. Those were quite a while ago.
And anyway, so and I knew I wanted to play. I've had a couple of the titles, like literally 2 I had on my shelf, and I just been wanting to do. And so I ordered Clash of Arms, and needless to say, I went kind of nuts, and I have extra copies. So, but
you went nutser than me, and I went nuts.
Right. Well, and I just if I went with 5th edition basically because it's what's in the box. La Bataille, as you may know or may not know, has premier rules. I think those will be ideal for multiplayer. Honestly,
that's the word.
5th edition is a chip pool system, kind of. It uses command points. Great for 2 players, actually, and I'll say I think it's great for solitaire because you don't necessarily. Yeah, you don't necessarily know who's going to go.
Yeah.
But yeah, honestly, for no other reason than it's what's in the box. You get a million different suggestions from people that play La Bataille because there's literally that. And the Regs 30, I guess, are the other ones that I may eventually do. But
yeah, I feel like I'm starting with the premier rules because I'm prepping. Once I get done prepping for Winterfest, where we're playing Vok dem Rhein, I'm going to be prepping for Buckeye Game Fest, where we will be playing La Bataille under the premier rules. So
that's good to hear because, as you know, I'm planning on coming there. I got my hotel reservation already, and
me too.
Knock on wood, I'll be there. So, and when I mean that depends how my treatment impacts me, but I'm planning on being there. Absolutely. So
awesome. Awesome. All right. So what is the second game that we're going to try and get some change for here tonight?
Okay. Well, I mean, we just talked about La Bataille. So I'm going to, I think I'm going to pull up. Let's see here. Just give me a quick second here. We did just talk about Ligne, so why not? And like I said, I tend to be really fanatical about my wargaming, which includes like purchasing. So I have multiple copies, but anyways, so La Bataille in the Shrink, Ligne, second edition. And, I'm trying to get it so people can see the maps. Hopefully, they know Clash of Arms, really awesome.
Oh, the maps
products.
are gorgeous.
The maps also have a finish on them that's just like incredible. It's an experience.
Extremely high quality components in all of the recent Clash of Arms games, and in a lot of the older stuff too. But that's they've been around so long,
right?
That it's hard to make a really general statement about that. But this one I've got, and it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous inside.
And I'm not. It is, and the one thing I wasn't sure. I was going to make a statement, but now I'm not sure. I believe this is a Rick Barber map, but I'm not.
So this generation of maps, the cartography is done by Rick, but the final art was done by somebody else.
Okay, good. All right, good to know.
And actually, I want to say it's Terry Leeds, actually.
Okay, all right. So anyways, for Ligne, I'm asking $115, and that includes the shipping.
It is a large game. It is worth, if you want to do La Bataille, this is a good one to start with, and yet it's super meaty, so you'll have plenty to do. And I will point out that while it is not out of stock at Clash of Arms, the boxes are out of stock. So if you buy it from Clash of Arms now, and this probably won't last much longer. ID Jester says bids 200. Awesome, Jester. Wow. Thank you so much. Much awesome. Appreciated.
Thank you.
If anybody wants to beat that, you got a minute or two to try and do it. But I forgot what I was going to say. Right. So the boxes are out of stock at Clash of Arms, and I would expect that the Ziplocs probably aren't going to last too long either. There seems like there's been, and we'll kind of segue this in after we declare a winner on this. It seems like there's been a resurgence in interest in La Bataille, or maybe it's not a resurgence, maybe it's a surgence. I'm not sure this is the second time. But I'm seeing in the content creator space and on social media, I'm seeing a lot more traffic and interest in La Bataille in, say, the last couple of months. And frankly, I think that's mostly you sharing your enthusiasm for it. But I've probably done 10% of that too. So, and I'm looking forward to getting into it. It's an irritant that I can't do it right now because I don't have the bandwidth, and we're practicing Goss, and we want to go into that game with some proficiency level that's better than clownish incompetence. So we're doing a weekly vassal game right now, and we're doing not quite every week live game up at one of the fellows that's going to be playing on the other side at Winterfest. So,
and I wanted to say, I will have some more videos up, and thanks for that. I hope I have some impact. I love the hobby, love the game, and I got to say Eric's channel has been very helpful.
Yes, Eric's great.
And I think I know that I guess I'll just say yes, thank you for that, because there are some people I know this, and all right, I'm pulling the game out because of you, Mark, and I'm like, good, that's my goal, that's what I want to happen.
Hey, right? More players for these things, that's great. All right, at this point we are declaring ID Jester and the War Room the winner of Lenny second edition in the shrink wrap from Clash of Arms. Jester, send you know what to do. The Mark's email address is in the ticker. Send him the bread, and send him your info, and he will get it out to you.
Absolutely.
Let me also, I have a subscription to give away. This is one of 3, so don't feel compelled to go crazy or anything. But I have a subscription to War Diary magazine, courtesy of War Diary magazine. Those folks were kind enough to offer to donate 3 subscriptions to War Diary. Those normally run about $30-$35 a piece. It is a fabulous magazine. Doesn't typically come with a game, but it sometimes comes with add-ons for other games. If you haven't seen War Diary, it's fantastic. So we'll do one right now. If anybody would like to shoot a donation Mark's way, you will send me your info, and Mark the money. So do not send me the money. I'll just have to send it on to Mark. And then, and then PayPal will take their cuts as well. I will tell you, John, that we have a couple more La Bataille games and Battles of the Age of Reason. We've got a couple other odds and ends. We've got a None But Heroes coming. We've got a bundle of Wing Leader and Napoleon at Waterloo. I'm not sure what that is unless it's Napoleon at Waterloo. So thanks, ID Jester. If anybody wants a subscription to War Diary for a modest donation, or not modest is cool too. Send it to Mark and put something in the chat, and I will get your info to War Diary, and they will ship you out some nice magazines. I've been very impressed with the materials that I've been seeing from them, and they're the closest thing we have right now to at least to a print magazine that's something like the old Fire and Movement or Moves magazine. So he didn't say. I assume it's a print version. So Meandering Mike asked if it's a print or PDF subscription. Oh, Roy, thank you, Roy. Roy is clarifying it is print. I'm not sure we said that in our conversation. So thanks, Roy. Roy is the gentleman of distinction and good grooming at War Diary who has kindly offered these subscriptions to us. So, the La Bataille games in particular are, they also have a discount. If you're a subscriber to War Diary, you get discounts on a whole bunch of stuff. Let me just mention that. And I've done some flip throughs of War Diaries, and a couple other people have as well. And all of us have been very impressed with the content, the quality of the articles. Yeah, Jeff, you are good in Canada on that. We did discuss that. So, but they have a reputation as being monster games, and to some extent, they're not all super huge, right? But it's fairly complicated. But a lot of folks find the idea of monster games, monster war games. Scott Bell has offering 50 for War Diary. Scott, send me your info, ardwulflair@gmail.com. I'm pretty sure you have it already. And we will get that over. Whoop. There's this weird thing where if I tuck my left leg under the chair, it hits the switch. So if I now wait a minute,
don't flip.
It hits the switch that unlocks the chair, and I end up flopping backward in an unexpected way. So William Aarons, welcome back to the stream. Much appreciated.
Thanks.
John Longshore has a copy of Third Winter that he will send out if anybody wants to.
Wow, amazing.
And I could be the intermediary for the address on that. If somebody wants to offer, we got to. John, is it open, punch, shrink wrapped? What's the condition like? We'll talk about that when we get to it. It's the articles on that World War II in Italy that really fascinated me, actually, because I think that's a very interesting subject. Is why did these people do this? Right? This was dumb, but they did it anyway, and we know what happened. So a lot of that background is in those articles, and it's very good. So we got a Third Winter in the shrink wrap for if somebody wants, and that's a $200 game, folks. So that's a very generous offer. Thank you, John, very much on that, and I will send John your info if you send your info to me. So who would like to we'll talk about Labatt versus OSG, and I'll actually, this would be a good, you've played Labatt OSG. Yeah. I had OCS in my head. I read it. Yep. I said OSG and I read it in my head, read it as OCS. But we'll talk about that. Mark runs the Library of Napoleonic Battles group on Facebook as well. So but we got a Third Winter on the hook right now. So, and La Primogenita from Legion Wargames just came out. That's pretty good. So the OSG games are a difference. I want to talk about monster games too. As Mark will attest, the OSG games are a very different scale, right? I mean, it's grand tactical to the extent that it's tactical at all. And that's, it's a very different kettle of fish, right? There's a lot of tactical and leadership considerations that are factors in the Library of Napoleonic Battles games, but are much more detailed and given a much more detailed treatment in La Bataille. I mean, remember La Bataille is battalions, and the Library of Napoleonic Battles is like brigades and divisions.
Right, and the Library of Battles. One person said to me once, they said, La Bataille is kind of like the ASL and Napoleonics. No, it's not complexity-wise, but it is battalion and tactical. Library of Battles, though, is divisions, some brigades and things. What's very interesting about it is the scenarios are all set up where you can play a day of battle, which is, think Napoleon's last battles with, like, in some ways, I think better rules, but I call it the bumper car system. That's
Yeah,
what
it
I
is.
call it. And, but what makes the game really interesting is when you play the approach to battle
Yeah.
scenarios.
And then you've got
Campaign.
like a really an operational system at that point when you are playing either the approach to battle scenarios, and they don't have one for every battle because sometimes you just start where you are on the map.
Right.
But uh, if you play the approach to battle scenarios or the campaigns, or the campaigns that are like on contiguous maps, like Napoleon's Last Gamble, then it really is an operational experience.
Yeah, no, right. I heard somebody, and I don't know that if it's actually a great comparison, but I said, okay. Somebody was saying, I remember one time about, it's kind of in a way like great campaigns of the American Civil War, which I'm kind of like, maybe, scale wise, there's some similarity, but it's not at all. I mean, like I said, if you're familiar, and if you're not old enough, but I don't know, I imagine most people under are, if you remember Napoleon's last battles, it's Kevin Zucker. Like, the research is great, and the graphics on the
Oh, they're
Library
gorgeous.
of Battles just draw you in.
Mm-hmm.
I know for me, like, obviously that's I'm a just, yeah, the maps, it's just, yeah, it's just, yeah, I don't know how else to explain it. But yeah, I actually done a couple of, or at least one or two. I think I did one video. I know I did an unboxing of Napoleon's Wheel. Um, but I can't remember if I did a replay or not. A lot of people don't watch the replays too much because they're too long, but there's actually some good channels out there, by the
Mm-hmm.
way, and that have some really good replays on the Library of Battles if you're haven't, want some replays on how to play. But yeah, I just really enjoy it a lot.
Yep. So thanks, Jester. Much appreciated. As usual, Jester is proves himself to be a mensch for all the shit he gives to absolutely everybody. So,
Thanks,
but when
you.
it comes, but he
Thanks.
comes through when it counts, right? So he is a mensch. Um, I think that GCACW feels like extremely different because it's really not an IGO. It steps
Yeah.
out of IGO Yugo, and the Library of Napoleonic Battles, Napoleon's Last Battle. Those are IGO Yugo games. There's nothing really unusual going on there. They're just really well done.
Right.
Whereas when it landed with Stonewall Jackson's Way, GCACW was a bit of a game changer for a lot of folks. Without necessarily saying that that's the first place that mechanism appeared, it certainly is the game or game series that introduced a lot of people to that kind of random a leader activation type of system.
And you rolled for movement
Yeah,
stuff, right?
yeah,
I mean,
yeah. You never know how. Do we have a copy of Tokyo Express on the hook? Because I missed it if somebody said that. Is somebody offering a copy of Tokyo Express? Well, you guys know where to send the money. So if somebody is going to ship out a copy of Tokyo Express, then I think we'll say thank you very much. And if I can help in any way to help facilitate that, just let me know. You guys know how to get a hold of me at this point. This
I-
is true. The days system from Zucker. I think there's 3 or 4 games in that sequence.
Yes,
It's kind of a sub series of the campaigns of Napoleon. Have you played any of the campaigns of Napoleon?
no, I haven't. No.
Me neither. I got a bunch of them at this point. I even ran down the old I forget what it's called, Bonaparte in Italy, which is It's the Arc. I think it's the Arcalay campaign, but it's the whole thing, right? It's not the tiny
Wow.
one that Avalon Hill redid. So,
I have 1806, which because so there again, right, he has a few different, but I
yeah,
think,
and it's
and
the
and
beast.
I have Highway to the Kremlin, which I haven't
Mhm.
played, but yeah,
Yeah, I've
I
got
want to.
most of them at this point in that series. I don't have all the different versions of Napoleon's campaigns in Italy, but um, yeah. So John Sleeper, if I don't want to miss this, John Sleeper over at Half Ass Gaming is offering a copy of Jaws of Victory as well. For 90 or higher, which I think is an accurate, is a
Thank you.
good. That's a great ballpark. So we've currently. I'll let Mark pull something up in a minute here, but we have a shrink wrap brand new copy of Third Winter for the best donation, and a copy from John. Thank you, John, of Jaws of Victory in the shrink as well. So what do you got next for us, Mark?
All right, so next up, well, I mean, you said it. We've been talking about Napoleon. I know I got a few, but it's not Napoleon at Waterloo from SBI. This is actually a European, and maybe I misspelled it when I sent you the list, but I got to admit, I don't know much about this game. I got it.
Okay.
It's Napoleon's Last Battle from CWG, which is, that's it. What's on the front, and then the back, it says designer is Mark Scarborough. Companion War Games, it says, is the developer. Darium. So let's see here. I mean, I'll show you a picture of the back. Obviously, it's in the shrink
Mm-hmm.
wrap.
Companion War Games, apparently.
Yeah, which I got to be honest, I picked this up at a GMT weekend. They carry it. Said, oh, that looks interesting. And then, it's been sitting in the shrink wrap. So I said, okay, we're gonna move it along. So, um, it's it covers Waterloo. I don't know if you can see, it's an area movement.
Mm-hmm.
Whoops. Whoops. Yeah, I know my lighting is not ideal for
Oh,
this.
it's fine.
Sorry.
It's fine. We're not complaining.
But it says fast paced and exciting. Let's see if it has a list of components. It
Yeah,
does
that didn't work.
not on the back have a list of components, but it's heavy. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's very
Um,
nice components. I've seen.
yeah,
I watched an unboxing of it, but otherwise, I don't really know much
okay.
about it.
And
So.
this is one actually, but so with shipping, I was going to ask $65 for it.
That is a bargain. So somebody can beat that for this fine game from Companion Wargame Studios. A fine looking game anyway. It's very pretty, nice components from what I could tell.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's European, right? I don't know.
No, they're in Texas apparently.
Oh, okay. You know
Roy
more than I
says that
do.
they're in Texas, and Roy would know. So
Okay, well, you know more than I do then.
yeah, me too.
Like I
He
said,
knows more than me too. But
I
everybody
picked,
knows more than
I
me. That's
picked,
not weird.
I picked it up on literally a whim. I just saw it. You're at the warehouse, the weekend at the warehouse, and
Hmm. Yeah,
wow,
I've never
really,
seen the warehouse. I've
yeah.
seen a warehouse
Well,
for
I've
5
seen
or
it,
10 years,
and
but
when Saturday they let you loose in there on their weekend.
oh
It's
yeah.
yeah,
Now I
very.
did go years and years. Ray Garby, thanks so much. Ray R offers 70. Ray, I'm going to take that. Correct me if we're wrong. I'm going to take that as being for Waterloo, Napoleon's Last Battle. Up, we got 75 from Kent Smith. Kent, thanks so much. Thanks, Ray, as well. But Ray's there's more coming here, so we are like a third of the way through this.
Oh
So
yeah.
Kent, we'll let that go for a couple minutes. So years ago, I was working with a retailer at the time, and we went to the Alliance open house. Alliance was one of the big distributors in really every kind of game except war games at the time. And we got to do shopping in their warehouse, and that was a pretty cool experience. But I
Um,
think I had no money. So I had
but
like $50 or something like that. So that didn't go very far. Alan Salzar offers 80. Alan, thank you so much.
thank you.
So
I've been doing the GMT weekend since the first
these
one.
guys are furiously Googling this thing and finding out that it's good.
Oh, okay, good. Because yeah, I did a quick BGG search and just to get an idea, so I wanted to make sure I was doing fair prices.
Mm-hmm.
This is so great.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
really quick,
You're good.
really quick. I've been doing GMT weekends since 1995.
Oh, wow.
And the first one, it's literally like 2.5 hours from my house to beautiful Hanford, California,
Mm-hmm.
which is, I like to say, in the middle of nowhere, literally. It's anyways, the very first one was held in a vacant storefront at the mall, which is across the street
Huh.
from a hotel. Like they didn't even have a quote unquote, they have
Weekend
a
at the
big
mall
warehouse.
doesn't have the same ring to it,
Yeah,
I'm afraid.
yeah. Oh yeah, very interesting. They did it there for a couple of years. So,
All right, we're calling Alan Salazar the highest offeree on the Napoleon Waterloo Napoleon's last battle. So thanks, Alan. Send Mark your PayPal dollars and your address by email, and Mark will get that out to you. So, and remember, we've got some generously donated shrink wrap third winner and Jaws of Victory as well for suitable dishes. I'll vouch for third winner. I played the pants off of third winner already.
I'm jealous on that one.
Yeah, we're in like our third or fourth game of it actually, which I haven't played in like 2 months since we moved out of town, but I'll get back down there eventually. There'll be some OCS on a table at Buckeye Game Fest as well. I am setting that up.
I love OCS really there again, really quick, because I know, but there's when the first Guderian's Blitzkrieg came up, I don't know if he's on or he's probably not, but buddy of mine, Russ Ryder, anyways, I remember I called him up, I put on the table, and the very first scenario was move these guys from here to here, right? Point A to B. And I called him up and I'm like, this is the series. And it's funny, I gotta say, I mean, I haven't played OCS in a few years. I want to get back to it, hopefully, but I taught him and he went nuts with it. And it
I
was
keep
really
telling you, Mark, move to Lodi, Ohio. We will set you up. I literally will give you all the OCS play you could possibly stand.
Okay, all right. That sounds like it
the main and there's Labatt folks in this area as well. Actually, some of the folks you will meet at some you're already talking to Dave, but John you'll meet John at BGF as well. He's a big Bataille player as well.
Great. Yeah, I'm real fortunate in the sense over the years I've built up a lot of opponents, and we do monthly meetups here in Lodi, California. But I always say the wargaming mecca, but I don't know. There's some competition from Ohio, I guess, right?
Yeah. The Battle of the Lodis.
That's right.
The same. The 20 people that live in each community. Alan, I've put Mark's email address in the ticker. It's right at the front end of the ticker. So
that's my PayPal address, right? So you can just send it to there, and then if you send me a separate email if you want with your address and the game, and I'll do, like I said, I want to be clear. I'm going to do my best to get as many out tomorrow as I can. The rest will go out the week of. I'll be back in town the 18th. I'll actually be back late on the 9th of the 17th, but I'll get them out.
I will vouch that Lodi, California does in fact have better weather than Lodi, Ohio. Because Lodi, Ohio is like 30 minutes from here. And it's the same weather I got, and our weather sucks. And it's inferior to California weather, but then Ohio's not on fire. So we got that going for us.
Well, we actually got flooding going on now. So,
we did set the river on fire that one time, but it wasn't actually that one time. That happened like half a dozen times. It blew up into a national story when it happened. I believe in the late 50s or something like that.
Wow.
I make my wife check to see if the Cuyahoga River is on fire every time we drive over it on a bridge. Honey, is the river on fire? She's like, oh. Wow. So, the Lodi song from Creedence Clearwater Revival too. There's also that.
Yeah.
So my wife is thoroughly tired of my shit, I'll tell you. So, all right, Mark, what do we got next?
Okay, so moving right along here. Let's see. I want to make sure really quick here. I think I did. Did I add this to the? I guess I didn't. All right, so I want to. This is going to be impromptu because I don't think I added on the list actually, and I know we have like about 12 altogether, right? I think on the list.
Yeah, about that.
But so I have a shrink wrap copy
Ooh.
Command and Colors Medieval. And you know what?
Which I believe is out of print right now from our friends at GMT.
And I was going to ask $75 for it.
That is a fire sale price. That is comparable to the P500 price, I'm sure.
And I don't think it needs any introduction to anybody that'd be interested in it. So,
oh no. So best offer on that beats $75 for Commands and Colors. You did say 75, right?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah, if I mumble, let me know because I do that sometimes. So.
We got 75 from Mad Nerd Workshop. 75 is dirt cheap. It's loaded with content. I mean, and you know, as groggy a guy as I am, I like Commands and Colors. Commands and Colors is fun to play. It's a great light war game. It feels wargaming, even though it's a light game. Richard Borg, of course, did an interesting thing with Commands and Colors Medieval, which is they got an expansion coming, I believe. But they started out with all Byzantine battles, which I thought was very interesting. These are battles that outside of Cataphract, we have seen very little coverage of for the most part.
So I was trying to see if it
is Milvian Bridge in there.
I'm looking on the back right now to see if it lists the battles actually on the back. I don't see it. It says Byzantine Empire and Sassanian Persians. Key battles between the Huns and the Romans are included, which act nicely as a bridge between ancients and the early medieval period. And it talks about the Byzantine Empire. I actually don't see a listing of battles here. Let me see
if it's not on BGG either.
Dale
Brady, thank you so much. Offers 150 for Commands and Colors Medieval. Wow. I haven't played the Medieval one, but I've played multiple Commands and Colors games, and they're all good, right? So
yeah, I played Napoleonics and Ancients.
Napoleonics is my personal favorite, and Memoir is kind of the one I don't like. I've never had a good experience playing Memoir, but I really don't think it's the game. I think it's the scenario and the format. So Dale Brady has offered 150 for Commands and Colors Medieval in the shrink wrap. And of course, you know, if there were hypothetically to be a used game here, it would be a nice shape too, but this is in the shrink wrap. So
wow, awesome. Thank you guys so much. And just so you know, I'm not going to give it away because I'm going to save it. I know what game I'm going to do last, and I'm super excited about it. But
awesome.
It's an SPI game.
Oh,
I'll say that. Ooh.
Get John. Call John. Somebody call John Krantz. Get John Krantz. John Krantz loves his SPI. John loves old games, and a lot of that's SPI because Avalon, them too. But SPI did the most old games, right?
Right.
All right, we're calling Dale Brady the highest contributor on Commands and Colors Napoleonics. Thank you, Dale. Please contact Mark, his email, and send him the money. His email is in the ticker. So let's do a second subscription giveaway. When I keep not wanting to say giveaway because I'm asking folks for a contribution for it, which you'll send directly to Mark. So I got another subscription to War Diary magazine. Great magazine, well worth your time, even if you're not getting it for a good cause, and in this case you are. So. Six Actual says John already has it, which I'm sure that's true, but that's never stopped him before. I've seen John did a video of his shelves at one point where he's got like 5 copies of the next war back there. Meandering Mike throws up $52 for War Diary.
Wow, thanks,
Thank you so much, thank you so much, Mike. You're gonna send your info. Don't send me any money. Send Mark the money. Email me. My email's in the ticker as well. Your name and address, and we'll get that over to Roy to get you your magazine. All right. Well, Meandering Mike's got you beat so far, Stigler. There is one more. Vince Ree. Vince Ree's got it. I'm already writing me people's names in here, and and Vince is getting us here. So thank you, Vince. Much appreciated. I guess I'll give it about another minute. So there is one more war diary in a few minutes here too. So
really quick story about Vince. He'll love this. So I have never met Vince personally, but he's bought games for me in the past. And we had a package that I mailed to him. He lives in New Hampshire, right? I'm in California. Long story short, we played. I don't remember, Vince, and I can't see your comments, but it must have been 3 or 4 months. I ended up refunding him the money. It kept making this loop, out for delivery, blah, blah, blah. Finally, it came back to me and I had to reship it to him. And I don't remember exactly what the problem was, but it's just a funny story because literally the post office would be in his town. They'd send it back to New York. New York would put it out for delivery. Well, he lives in New Hampshire. I can't remember, if the zip got screwed. I don't know. To this day, I don't even know if we know what happened. So,
I think we've all had this experience at this point.
It was funny though. Funny story. I just want to share that about me and Vince. That's what I mean. Everything about this hobby, and everybody's so supportive, but it's just
even the frustrating thing when you're tapping your foot waiting for the game to show up in the mail too. All right, we're giving Vince Reed the call on War Diary Magazine. Thanks, number Vince. 2. Shoot Mark the money, or shoot me your name and address, and we'll get that set up. All right, and I got an offer from Steve Parker, who would like to offer an unpunched boxed Longstreet attacks to the U.S. So we now have a couple of extra things in the cooker here. Anybody wants to make an offer on any of these? We've got a shrink-wrapped copy of The Third Winter from our friend John Longshore. We've got a shrink-wrapped copy of Jaws Victory from John Sleeper. And we got a unpunched copy of Longstreet Attacks from Steve Parker. So thank you, Steve.
Wow.
So anyone who wants to make an offer on any of those stuff, make it worth everybody's time. But I think we're going to all be very cool about it. So, so Mark, you're a monster gamer, right? You play monster games regularly.
Of course.
And let's say you're talking, you're going to the friendly local. God damn it. You go to the friendly local game store and you run into somebody who you know has played war games before, and you think they might be interested in monster gaming. What do you tell them to kind of talk them into? Roy Matheson offers 100 for Jaws of Victory. That's very reasonable, Roy. We'll give that just a moment. And I haven't played Jaws of Victory. Mark, have you played Jaws of Victory?
I haven't, and I have it. Well, yeah.
Yeah, I have it too, and I haven't had a chance to play it yet.
I have not played it. I want to, obviously, but it's a beautiful game. So I think the gist of your question is local game store.
Yeah, how do you get people? How do you attract people to monster gaming? Is I guess what I was trying to clumsily set up.
I actually think that I just do what I do in the sense of I get excited, I talk about the games, and then I try to find out what people are interested in, because I actually have like a core group of that I didn't meet like how you're explaining it, but they like to play monsters. We like to be able to, people will be at the conventions, right? And I'm the organizer for it. Somebody's always got to be the driver. And basically it's just kind of like, hey, you've had this game sitting on your shelf for, 20 years. Don't you want to play it? And it can be anything from the subject matter to, yeah, I have. And I'll be like, all right, well then let's play it. Here's the date. Here's the time we're going to play. Here's what we're going to do. And I got to be honest, I organize it. I push it. Hopefully that makes sense. But I think, I'll say this, and I think this is a good little segue. I know this wasn't your intent, but I'm going to share this.
It's okay.
I luckily have a local flags that carries a few war games. Not a lot. They're a comics game store. We do our meetups there. We buy stuff from them. He's actually started stocking some stuff. Anyways, I've gotten a few new gamers in the war games. Literally, like, there's like 2 teachers locally that are in their 30s, early 30s, just in love with war games. It's their first GMT weekend. Long story short, I would just bring a stack of games to board game day and sit there. And I had it's all about interest. I literally, how I got one of them started was Bomber Command from GMT, and he picked that one, and I was like, oh my God, it's gonna be a disaster, right? Because I like the game, but it's a very formulated kind of, the British plot their bombing, but it just backed up my theory that it's all about subject matter. And now they play Churchill. They've been to GMT weekend, Past the Glory. So yeah. Anyways, I wanted to share that because people talk about how do I get new people. Well, it's not always complexity. I'm a big believer in its subject matter. So, right.
I mean, I agree. I've often said that the most important thing of what the best first war game is for somebody is that they're interested in the topic.
Right. And I don't know if I'm supposed to see this, but I see your notepad. So
yes, no, you're supposed to see that.
Okay, perfect. All right.
I didn't necessarily expect Mark Witka.
Well, Mike Kelly. Hey, Mike.
Fix that. Mark, what kind of shape was that in? Because I missed the original post. Oh, good Lord. John's got point blank. So we got more. God damn it with the caps lock. My old keyboard, I had a Logitech keyboard that let me disable the caps lock key. And I loved that. And this nice keyboard, I like the keyboard, but it doesn't let me disable the caps lock. Awesome. So Mo from Mo's Game Table is here. Mo, welcome.
Holy crud. Wow.
All right. And I'm guessing I'm missing stuff here. All right. So, folks, we got a whole pile of stuff we're giving away. Mark, what do you got next?
Okay. So, coming up next, I'm going to so trying to mix it up just a little. We're going to go. We haven't talked about, you know what? We talked about La Bataille. Coming up will be World War I and World War II, but I'm going to go back to La Bataille. Literally, this one has a map in it that you could literally frame. It's so beautiful. Let's see here. So we're gonna do.
Oh yeah, these are great.
La Bataille, Dresden.
So, well, you're
in the shrink. Imagine that. Gee, and don't worry, I'm keeping a copy. These are literally. I have an issue. Okay, so I bought a couple extras.
I just bought one of everything. I'll have you know.
I wish I usually, well, yeah, I'm getting better, believe it or not, but yeah, I kind of went really overboard with La Bataille. But this map literally has it's a monster game. It's 4 maps. I do want to say with the La Bataille, they all have scenarios, one map, like
that's
intro
true.
type stuff. So over 1,000 counters, full color displays, by the way, in the newer games like this, where the older games, if you're familiar, had just black and white. And I'm not quite sure which rule set this came with. I know Ligny has 5th edition. I'm not sure actually off the top of my head.
I think has 5th as well.
So I'm offering this at, including shipping, $120.
$120. That is, I'm trying to think if that is not available anymore from Clash of Arms. It might. I'm not sure.
I think I want to say I'm not sure either. I believe it is, but I'm not.
It might be. It might be because I thought I saw it on the list at the available list at Grey Rooster. 140 for Dresda from Kilroy. If Kilroy was here, Kilroy is here, and thankfully, so is his money. So thanks, Robert. Much appreciated. Mark Burgess offers 150 for 3rd winner. John, if John's okay with that, that is, I would call that an excellent price for 3rd winner. But it's not like dramatically under MSRP. I mean, it's under MSRP. Let me put it that way. But it's a great game. I've played the pants off of it, like I said. So, John, let us know if you're okay with 150 for 3rd winner. Tabletop Sedge says probably the prettiest map and displays of any La Bataille game. Rulebook has issues. Yeah, I mean, if the rulebook has issues, who cares?
Right.
Somebody asked me actually. You just bought 5-6 La Bataille games. What if you don't like it? I'm like, well, if I don't like it, who cares? I'll just pick a different rule. I'll pick a set of rules. I mean, I'll like one of them. I think the odds are with me there, right?
Right.
But the it's cool. It's confusing, but uh, if you don't know what the landscape looks like, it's like every game has a different rule set in it. That's not quite that bad, but it's confusing.
What I found, Artie, is the different rule sets. So like I said, I'm learning on 5th edition. I've of course looked at Premiere, and I've read the very first game I actually played. I tried doing the 3rd edition rules.
Mm-hmm.
They're actually 3rd edition and 5th edition are very similar, right? Like there's just
Yeah. Well,
additions.
one's 3rd
So
and one's 5th.
right. So the 5th added the command points and whatnot.
Yes.
But what I meant by that is like there are a lot of different rule sets, and the La Bataille USA site is I don't know who keeps it up, but it's helpful.
So there's 2 sites. There's
Okay.
La Bataille, labataille.m. I think that's what it is. .me, which is Marshall Enterprises, and which I think is registered in Malta or the Maldives or some shit like that. But it's there in like California, and there's labataille.us, which is run by Clash of Arms. So, but they're kind of working together because they're like talking to each other, and there's a plan and all that stuff. So let me put Mark up top because he's the starter. I'm just a facilitator tonight.
Thank you. I see Carl 160.
Carl's got 160 out for
Wargamers
La Bataille Dresden. I've got that one too, and I know they were playing. That was the La Bataille game they played at Buckeye Game Fest last year. Was Dresden, and they had a great time. Other than the one guy who got called away because he had to go back. There was a work emergency and he had to leave. So
I do
he
think
came back like 3 days later.
Somebody made a comment about that you could frame you literally can, like the map in that game is just it's
oh yeah, incredible. It's nice. They're all really nice looking maps,
yeah.
though. Yeah. So it's not like there's Mark, no sweat. We understand it's an expensive game. I mean, it's from MMP after all. And if we can't whine about MMP's prices, what can you whine about? I don't think it's an unreasonable offer, but if John thinks it should go to, and I think it should go to, I'm not gonna burn anybody's ass either way. So, but yeah, all of the La Bataille maps are the One True Phlegm is back. Thanks for coming back. There is not going to be a rap video. I don't know. I would have to ask Dan for help on that, and I don't know if even Dan could do a rap video. This is a joke that Brant over at the Armchair Dragoon started like a year ago, and for some reason it keeps getting traction. I'm not sure why. So maybe I'll 3D print a rap video for you guys though. So I resolved not to talk about that. Oh, I got all kind. Next week we'll talk about it. I don't see Dan. Anyway, yes, this is exactly right. All right, we're declaring Carl Crater for Dresden. So thanks, Carl. Much appreciated.
Thanks, Carl. Appreciate
160. it, buddy. We'll move that to the other file here and make sure this is working. I'm of course nothing if not a half-assing it here. So we got just text file notepads open up. So we did the occasional monster game thing back in the day, but and by the day in this case, I guess I mean the 90s, the mid 90s. But you got to have the space. To me, it was natural to kind of fall into trying to find. Yeah, that's less bad, I guess. It was kind of natural to fall into like a format where you come every week and you play that game every week because that's what we did playing Rollmaster in our case at the time.
Wow.
So, Roy, yeah, we said you were good on. Yeah, that's why I pulled you out. Yep. Right. Cause of victory. Roy, you know how to get a hold of me. Send me your info and I'll get it to John. And send Mark the money, of course. I started out with a little piece of note paper, and that obviously isn't working very well. So, we really do appreciate everybody coming out tonight. So it is much
Absolutely.
appreciated, and it seems like we're doing pretty well too. And if you don't land on a game here, remember you can always hit up the GoFundMe, which is linked in the video description as well.
Yeah, and once again, thanks everybody for being on, and we still got some more to go, but
we're just so many windows
humbled.
Open.
Thank you.
I've got 3 monitors, and I don't know where anything is.
Well, I'll wait for your lead. Obviously, I have one.
All right. Well, let's pull this down for a minute. All right, go ahead and show us what you got next.
Okay. All right. So I said we were going to go to World War I. This one's definitely out of print. I don't believe it's on the P500 at all from GMT Games. And, it's one that I wanted to try to make sure I offered some good stuff here today. It's in the shrink. There's a little bit of a tear in the shrink here, in case you're, but Bloody April, right?
We can all vouch that this is a much better game than SPI's Bloody April.
Right.
But not about the same thing.
It's, I got to admit, I don't know a lot about the game. I bought it with the intention of playing it and just with all the stuff I got. And but I'm not going to get to it, at least anytime soon. So, and I'm including the expansion. Where's that? Eagles of Lil, which is more campaign stuff. I believe this is kind of like Downtown or Elusive Victory, games like that.
But it's World War
One. Yeah.
Yeah, that actually sounds really cool. Yeah. I've got, I had Red Storm, but I don't know what happened to it. It vanished into the mists of time.
I have
Mark, send me an email and I will help facilitate if anybody does end up wanting the not you, Mark. This Mark. Mark Burgess. If anybody is interested in Tokyo Express, Mark, send me an email so I can facilitate that if it comes up. So, and we got a bloody April. This goes for good change, by the way.
I'm asking, just so you know what I'm asking. I was somebody would throw out a number, but I was going to ask 125, and that includes
that's a good price. That is actually on my want list, and it was one that I actually was thinking maybe I would buy off of you, but it doesn't look like I'm going to be in the market on this here, the way things are going so far. So we got a Bloody April for 125. So if anybody would like to beat that, your help and assistance and brotherly love will be much appreciated. And it's got the expansion in it too, and that does include shipping.
That's right. It does.
Stuka Joe, welcome. It's always great to have you. John, no sweat. I understand. I completely understand. I bit strapped as well at the moment because we bought a dining room set and it was expensive. So I guess that works better. John Stanley offers 50 for Lanzarath Ridge. If anybody wants to beat that, David Thompson has offered a brand new copy of Lanzarath Ridge. And my typing skills are dire, so that isn't helping. So, and it's all for a good cause, right? We got nobody's thrown in on the Bloody April yet. So
okay, and all right. Well, what can I say? If not, no interest. I'm happy to keep it for now.
Keep it. So. Maybe I'll buy it. Maybe I'll buy it off you on payday if nobody wants.
I'll have it still
because I have wanted it. It is actually on my want list.
Came pretty highly recommended.
Ray wants 70 for Ray Garby on Lanzarath Ridge.
What is that? I hate to admit
Ray and 6 actual offers 150 for Bloody April. Very reasonable. Wow. This is actually a good price. To be honest, even 150 is still a good price.
Yeah. Yes. It is. And I'm not just saying that. I know because I was in the market for quite a while. So, but I'm
That is what
glad
I said,
somebody's
right?
can actually open it. What's that?
Steve, we do not have an offer on Tokyo Express right now. So everybody's saying that 6 actual offered 150, and I got that. So, and did I miss something? This is where my $100 for Lanzarote Ridge. Well, thank you, Alistair, and everybody else. I'm probably misspelling somebody's name wrong
Thank
here.
you.
No, I think I got it actually. That's good. All right, Mark and Vince, that what you are doing in the chat is much appreciated. We'll put 100 on the card for Tokyo Express because that's the expectation. I think we're going to say that the expectation for third winner is 200. Steve Parker. All right, John Stanley offers 50 from Fire in the Sky. Hopefully Frank is still on. All right, John Stanley. We've got Steve Parker offers 100 for Tokyo Express. Okay. 70 for Fire in the Sky from Mark Dennehy. Thank you, Mark. Oh, we do not have the infrastructure here for this, folks. So if this seems slapdash and unprofessional, that's what we're all about here at Ardwulf Lair. So just be glad Dan's not here. It would be even worse. So,
well, thanks again, Artie, for putting this on, and everybody. I know we're not done, but thanks everybody.
And it looks like we're doing good. So anybody that any of the contributions from John or David Thompson or Steve Parker or Mark Kelly or Frank Davis, just shoot all. I believe everybody there, with the exception of Steve and Mark Kelly, have my contact information, and it's in there. And I will. You can send me your contact information, mailing address, and I will get it to those folks. And Mark Dennehy offers 70 for Fire in the Sky, which we got. We're about to declare Bloody April 6 actual, the highest offerer at 150. Dan is nice. The Chaos Inc. Oh, there we go. Tim Sales offers 250 on third winner. So yeah, wow, thanks, Tim. You play this once and you'll get your 250 out of it. So, and like I said, I'm on like our third or fourth game of it. So, oh geez, which edition was Frank? Which version of Fire in the Sky was that? Because Frank said when he posted it, but I didn't write that down, and I don't want to say it wrong. John Stanley offers $50 for Long Street Attacks.
Wow.
Which is Mark, have you played any of the Blind Swords games?
Absolutely. And in fact, I've played Long Street Attacks and I love it. It's not, and actually it wasn't that long ago, only a couple months ago, maybe, but I really enjoyed it. And of course, A Most Fearful Sacrifice. Mm-hmm. Played that. Actually, me and Carl played that this last summer at a little small convention down in Fresno. Me and Carl Creeder got to play that first time, but great time. It's the same system basically. So just wonderful system. And
yeah,
I went, as you would expect, well, I have them all. So, but they're not for sale right now. So they're, yeah. But yes, Long Street, I really, they're just, what can I say? They're great. The maps are really nice, very
Thank
immersive.
You, Andrew.
Yeah. So.
All right. So Bloody April goes to 6 actual. Let me put that on the other list here.
And just to reiterate, because
I should have done this, and I should have set this up in Excel on in advance, and then I would have had everything much better organized. So, because everybody loves to tune in to the show on Monday night to watch me working in a spreadsheet. I don't know if you knew that, Mark.
I thought that was the highlight. Actually, I was like, oh, kind of bummed, but But
Alistair, you got it. 120 for Lanzareth Ridge. And Alistair, I got your contact information, but send me an email anyway. So I think we're calling Lanzareth Ridge we're calling that one for Alistair. So I'm putting that into the win column. And thank you very much, David Thompson, for the very kind donation. Much appreciated. Alistair, send me your shipping address. I'll get that to David. We will, by the way, have David on the show tomorrow with Dan. Who, for some reason, David, a man of infinite patience, can stand dealing with Dan more than once a month. I'm not sure how. So,
so do you want?
This is a fantastic idea. All right, yeah, Mark, give us another one.
All right, so this one is a big lot. I'll show everything.
Thank you so much for the subscription.
Big lot. I will tell you this lot, I just want to be upfront. People will not get shipped tomorrow.
Oh yeah,
only because my capacity is getting ready for the trip. So these are all part of the Wing Leader series from GMT Games, Lee Brimwood.
Yep.
So this is all one lot. Okay. Victories 1940 to 42. It's the 2019 printing. Okay. Also included is volume 2, Wing Leader Supremacy 43 to 45 in the shrink wrap. This is the second edition printed in 2021. I'm going to go through a little bit quick on this one because I am including all the expansions that I'm aware of, and also the second edition version 2.2 upgrade. This is pretty recent. This has charts, cards, tables to bring everything up to date. Wing Leader Blitz 39 to 42. Expansion 1. Expansion 2, Eagles 43 to 45.
So this is a lot of stuff, is what you're saying.
It is. This is everything. So that I'm aware of. I mean, this was from the warehouse, and it was everything they had in print when I bought it. And I bought it about a year ago, so I think, or so, maybe a little less. But Wing Leader Expansion 3, Origin, so you get stuff from 36 to 42. And also Wing Leader Legends 37 to 45. It's all brand new. It's, I actually have an older copy of Supremacy that I have played. I played it once. It's very interesting. The planes are side view. You get to play out missions. Anyways, all of that, and I can go through it again real quick if somebody needs it. I was going to ask $195, and that includes shipping.
That is pretty reasonable for all that stuff. Mark Burgess, my email and Mark's email are in the ticker at the bottom of the screen. Mark is at the beginning. I am close to the end. So $195. Let me put the thing back up here for the massive. All right, we'll move.
It's a big lot, and I think that
it's a lot of stuff.
Play it, really enjoy it, and it is World War II. I was trying to mix it up a little bit, so it was tough coming up with the few that we're offering up tonight. So,
all right, so we're at 195 plus and huge Wing Leader lot, and it is a huge lot. That's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I don't even want to guess what the retail was on it.
Andrew, thank you. Stuka Joe offers 300 for the Wing Leader lot.
Oh wow, awesome!
You guys can see how bad a type is.
Now, can I ask? I just want to ask, just to be clear, which obviously we all know Stuka Joe and love his videos, and I really appreciate that. I can ship it, but if I'm shipping to Puerto Rico, that's fine. And I want you to know that it won't get shipped till next week, though, for sure.
I'm sure that's not a problem. You've actually got to fill out customs paperwork. At least when I did it,
you do. No, I actually do ship overseas. I have, and for the majority, I'm not. Well, like I said in the beginning, I'll include shipping at U.S., but Stuka Joe, like I'll figure, we can figure, and that's a very generous offer. So
I'll tell you what, Wing Leader has a wide following. A lot of people really love that game. I mean, you frankly, you could tell from the level of support that GMT gives it. So yeah, he's going to be in Spain. You could ship it to Spain instead. He could pick it up at Il Bioticon.
Spain. Well,
awesome.
yeah,
But
let's talk. Maybe we need to talk. But yeah, it's the way it's. If you've done overseas shipping, which I've done it all,
it is a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
It doesn't even have to be overseas shipping. Canada is just as bad. I had a big hassle given a couple of the giveaways went to Canada. And I had a extra ladling of headache from Canadian custom. Well, it was like UPS Customs brokerage actually was who was giving me the headache.
Oh wow!
Let's do another. We've got a 300 standing offer on Wing Leader. We've got one more War Diary subscription. So
War Diary. You spell like
War Diary. All right, let's start. Let's say that we'll say 40 plus on that. Puerto Rico is the USA. Why customs? Don't ask me. Right.
And I don't know, but I'll fill out a custom form. I'm assuming it is customs. Sure.
It's harmonized codes. You got to put a harmonized code in it. So you got to. It's not like the same as international customs.
Yeah, I've shipped there before. It's been a while.
Yeah, but you got to like put in a harmonized code and all that. I use Pirate Ship that does all that for me. I just tell them what it is and they figure it out. So
I guess I need to get with the modern times and sign up for Pirate Ship. A lot of people use that. So.
Yeah, I like Pirate Ship. It saved me. It's a big money saver if I'm shipping to the West Coast. Oh, okay. And speaking of shipping to the West Coast, I would like to shout out to Mark who sent me Caesar's Legions after hearing that that I'd never played it. So thank you very much, Mark. It arrived safe and sound in 2 days. So I'm not sure what's up with the post office where they can deliver that from California in 2 days. But all right, we got a $60, $40 offer from Mike Kelly.
Mark Kelly.
You got a lot of Mikes and Marks here tonight.
Is Mike Kelly
I apologize for screwing any of that up. Oh, and the last names too were screwed up. All right, we got a $60 offer from Kent Smith for War Diary. Oh, why can't I disable that? So Kent and Mike, thank you so much. It is a NAFTA thing. So much for free trade. So free trade, but you got to go through all this rigmarole to make it happen. So, and the funny thing is, why does that even apply? They're Americans. They're part of America. Why is it not like shipping to Iowa?
Right.
So,
right. That's right.
Scott Bell says War Dairy is the cow smell in
War Dairy.
So,
oh my God, Scott, that's all.
Well, Andrew, this is true, but nothing has actually changed substantively. So, yeah, anything above 150, I think that number might be different now, actually, because I think I got hit for like 70. I think I declared something at like $75, and they were trying to charge me another $30 in addition to the $60 that it cost to already ship the thing.
Oh, no, I wanted to say something you mentioned earlier. So Red Storm, I'm always going to keep that. I'm sorry yours disappeared, and there was one reason and one reason only.
It ought to turn up.
I'll play it, but it has a C-141 in it, and I was a loadmaster on C-141s from 83 to 87. So.
All right, we are declaring, hopefully I haven't missed anybody. We are declaring Stuka Joe the winner on the
awesome. Thank you, sir.
On the giant Wing Leader lot. And we're declaring Kent Smith the winner of the latest subscription to War Diary magazine. So Joe, you're gonna send money and info to Mark, whose email is in the ticker, and Kent Smith is going to send money to Mark and send your shipping address to me, and I will get it to Roy.
I love it.
So, this is there is a lot of like, I know we got our issues, right? Your family is your family, and your chosen family is your family too, and this is a a very familial atmosphere in the wargaming hobby a lot of the times. I mean, I went to, Compass Expo, and I, saw somebody that I hadn't seen in a few years, and we had a big hug. It was great. It was very masculine. I was very happy. So I certainly talk faster when I'm drinking. That's a plus. I think my sense of smell's coming back, actually, which is after post COVID again. So we'll probably be back to the Scotch next week for Avalon Hill, Best of Avalon Hill Part 3. I got plenty to drink here. I got this fabulous diet Mountain Dew tonight. So, and after this, I'm going to go put up some more shelving. All right, Mark, what's next?
Okay, so I'm gonna switch this over to the American Revolution, which we haven't talked about, Battles from the Age of Reason. This is a really hard to find title if you're into that series at all. Brandywine, Germantown.
Mm-hmm.
And I know my camera's not the best, but the box is outstanding. This is a Rick Barber map, which I'm going to pull out. It's unpunched. That includes the second edition rules, but it is literally unpunched and just what I like to say, people have seen my listings, unpunched and excellent, right? So let me just really quick the map. So I'm asking while I'm talking, I am asking what I paid for this is $185, but I am including the shipping. So let's see how well, I don't know if you're familiar with Rick Barber's style, but this is a Rick Barber map. I know that, like, it's not, he actually did these maps.
Oh, yeah, you could tell.
And if any of you have been around any length of time, I guess you either love him or hate him. I loved Rick Barber's maps. I
do
did.
too.
I think they're wonderful. And the games, like La Bataille, like I said, this isn't in the shrink. It's kind of hard to find it. But if you know, the counters are in the uniform colors. And I'm sorry, my lighters, I'm not the pro at this, but
gorgeous pieces.
And if you know anything, like you say, this is a hard to find title. And I'm just asking what I paid for it, $185. And it's all the paperwork is nice and clean and bright white and no rust on the staples. And and it's obvious. Well, I won't say it's complete. So, and it's all here. The box is solid, box top and bottom. And I'm asking $185 for
very reasonable for that. So Battles for the Age of Reason is like a related system to La Bataille, but it's not the same system. No. Now, the folks I've talked to who are big into both game systems have all said that Battles of the Age of Reason is actually a little more complicated than La Bataille, but that, of course, varies on which La Bataille rule set you're using. But they also all seem to agree that it's easier to play than La Bataille. So I've actually got my first Battles of the Age of Reason game coming. Well, I'm going to get it this week. So,
well, I haven't quite played it yet. I dived in, so we'll just say
we're calling third winner from John Longshore for Tim Zales. We're calling John Stanley's $50 for Longstreet Attacks from Steve Parker. And we're calling Steve Parker's $100 offer for Tokyo Express from Mark Burgess. So we'll pull these off. We still have a Point Blank V for Victory from John Longshore and a Flying Colors, which is the new edition of the Flying Colors system, which is a great system, by the way.
All right. So, yeah, go ahead.
And we have 185 plus for Mark for Brandywine and Germantown, which is one game. It's called Brandywine and Germantown.
It is, but there's 2 battles in there. And then if it helps, because I know that, just looking at time here, right? We still have, I don't have a lot left. I think I have, 3 titles left after this one. But if it's okay, I'm going to just, same series. I'm just going to do it. Yeah, I was asking permission, and I'm just doing it. But Monmouth, beautiful maps, Battle Age of Reason. Obviously, if somebody wants to buy both, I could ship them together. It's unpunched, brand new, basically, solid, all that good stuff. And I was asking for this one. I'm actually asking less than what I paid for this, but it's because I have a couple. Is $135, including shipping.
All right, folks, we got a Brandywine in Germantown for 185 and a Monmouth, both of which are unpunched and in great condition, for
Right.
135 or more. So speak up if you want them.
And there's a Battle of Age of Reason site actually on the web that you can go to get the updates, because both of these games are a little bit older and they've been out of print for a really long time.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see that system. I got Prague on the like I said, I've arranged for local pickup in Columbus.
Nice.
So,
oh, very nice. What I've heard about it is, and I haven't played it, is it is more complex, but the reason it's easier to play is because, well, I love La Bataille, but La Bataille has some wiggle room in the rules too, and Battle of Age of Reason, there's actually not a lot of wiggle room.
Well, also my understanding is that the play aids are really well designed, and I think there's probably a little less counter handling headache as well. That's my impression.
Okay.
So here's what we got, folks. Our friend John Longshore has kindly offered a Point Blank and a Flying Colors. If anyone is interested in those, I don't know off the top of my head what a fair offer would be on those. We have a Fire in the Sky fit from Phalanx for Frank Davis. We're calling that for Mark Dennehy. Mark, send me your info. I will get it to Frank. Send Mark Ruggiero your contribution.
Okay.
All right, and we still got Brandywine in Germantown up on the block here. We're selling them.
So I have to, I know that so I have I have 3 items left. So
all right, let's put them up. Let's see what we got.
Why don't we just get them up and then we can talk games? So
sounds good.
Right, for the last few minutes. So another La Bataille title. I know. Trust me, when you get so many games that I'm like, okay, what do I want to offer first? And I just know I've been doing the videos and really enthusiastic. La Bataille, the Moscow. This is definitely out of print in the boxed edition. This one is shrink wrapped. And remember, we're including shipping on that. And I was asking for Moscow $115.
All right, we've got an offer from William Aarons, who will have you shipped to the U.S. $190 for Brandywine, and don't forget Germantown. How much are you giving us for Germantown? We're gonna hold Germantown hostage. In the meantime, you're gonna get the rule book and be cut in half.
It's like, hey, wait a minute.
We thought you just wanted Brandywine.
Well, why? Yeah.
So, 2 great battles of the American Revolution, not from the Battles of the American Revolution series, though.
Great, fun game. Thank you, William.
What do we got next?
Oh, U.S. address, perfect. Oh, yeah. Okay. So I did Moscow, and then. Yep. Okay, so it's in the other room, man. So I can go grab it. I'll have to go grab it.
Okay, I'll talk about Moscow until then.
Okay, give me 2 seconds and I'll be right back.
So the original La Bataille game from 1975 was La Bataille de la Moskva, and that got sort of handed off to the Marshall Enterprises folks, and then Clash of Arms got involved after a while. And I don't know what you guys are even talking about with the OnlyFans thing. Yeah, that would be the least. I would get banned from OnlyFans from being the most hideous creature on there. And that's probably, I don't know what goes on over there, but so the new edition of it from Clash of Arms is a very well done package. It's the Battle of Borodino. Okay, so it's one of the largest battles of the entire Napoleonic period anyway. So it's a true monster. It's a monster among monsters. It's the monsteriest of the La Bataille monsters, with the possible exception of Leipzig. So, which I've never even seen, and which goes for a giant pile of bread.
And it's a great Moscow is like, I dream to play it, but we'll see. Okay, so if you're ready, so this has been out of print for quite some time. MMP Line of Battle, None But Heroes, Battle of Antietam, right? It's derivative of the old Gamers regimental subsystem. I have Gettysburg, and well, after tonight, maybe I had this, but I love the system. I still actually play, but this is in the shrink wrap. I wanted to offer up. I think this is special. So, but I am offering it, and this is actually less than what I paid. So, not that that's a big deal, but it's $255 shipped. So, and None But Heroes, Line
Folks,
of
this is a
Battle,
bargain
shrink
price.
wrap.
You cannot touch this for less than $300.
So shrink wrap,
let alone in the shrink wrap. And I have played it, and it is fantastic. If you don't know, it's and Mark didn't say it's the Battle of Antietam. Yes, we'll talk about what you have to do to keep me off of OnlyFans next week. The Tabletop's Edge offers $250 for Brandywine. All right, beating out Mr. Aaron's.
Wow.
So thank you both, William and Doug.
And
we're gonna call him Mr. Tabletop when we live stream for Winterfest.
Okay. And I have None But Heroes, and I have one more game, and then we can just talk whatever until we run out of time. So this is the one I was saying for last, SPI. Now it has a special place in my heart because I played it with Scott Bell, who I don't know if he's still on here, friend of ours, Edmund Matheny, Pete Roth. And I don't even know if Scott will remember this, but we used to play things to death in the summer when we were teenagers. And I don't know why, but this game, and I have another copy I'm keeping, but this is unpunched. And I know some people are like, okay, that's a weird, but War on the Ice. There's no back. It does have repaired corners. And I'm sorry, this was special for me. And we all have something special, but this has a lot of memories. It's a hypothetical war in Antarctica. It's called War on the Ice. Even includes aliens. The designer actually is still active. I've seen him on Facebook and I believe Consim World. And in this copy is let me see here really quick because I wanted to make sure. Yeah, we're good. So I even taped it's punched. It is complete. Because my other one's punched. Like I said, these all got played or will get played by me. Copies. The rule book. Well, there we go. Is pretty clean. I mean, for my judgment, a lot of people would call it excellent. I'll call it good. There is because I'm pretty sure I bought this from somebody on the East Coast. Sorry. There's a tiny, tiny bit of rust. I don't know if you can see it on the staples.
It's a 45-year-old game, so
right, and
you are forgiven.
This is the better of the two that I have. So, little bit of handling. There's no underlining or anything in the rules. And the map is pretty functionable. Let's see, what was I asking for this while I'm showing this? And I think here's the chart separate. Where the heck is it?
We're calling Brandywine and Germantown for the Tabletop's Edge. So thank you, Doug.
Thank you. Where the hell did I put it? I know it's here. Hang on. Sorry.
Last call on La Bataille de la Moskva.
Okay. Well, you know what? I can't seem to find the price that I put. So let's just say this. I know that including shipping, I think it's a fair price. I'm going to ask $65.
Oh, Iggy Crickdahl offers $400 for Brandywine.
And Russell Ryder.
I guess we got to pull it back, don't we?
Wow. Oh, Russ is on. Hey, Russ. None But
Doug,
Heroes.
You got sniped. I am sorry about that. If this was not totally half-assed. Iggy Crickdahl got you at $400.
Oh, wow. Okay.
All right. Kent Smith offers $140 for Moskva. All right. I'm just trying to make sure I'm not missing anybody here.
Right.
This is where it would be nice to have a whole team of moderators to watch this for me. But instead, I got two guys who are like, "Oh, what the fuck is he doing now? Oh my god! Oh, he's fucked that up again."
Oh, you did. Just so you know, Russ Ryder's on there, and hope I don't embarrass him. He lives in Sacramento near me, and
Oh, if
me
you were
and
trying to embarrass him, you'd tell
me
everybody
and
he
him
lived
go
in
back
Ohio.
at least 30 years, and I I remember the first time I ever called him, and I knew I was going to like the guy because he was drinking whiskey on his patio. I called him on the phone, but we've known each other for over 30 years. Thanks, Russ.
That's fantastic.
And we needless to say, we play ASL every Thursday, Advanced Squad Leader. So,
All right, what was our price for War on the Ice, by the way?
oh, I said so. Yeah, sorry, I know you were busy. That's what I
Oh
said.
yeah, well you said
So
I
I'm
missed it, though.
offering. I wanted to offer this, including shipping, $65.
Okay, $65 for War on the Ice. Totally worth that for an SPI Classic.
Yeah. And I know that I'll just say that not that yeah, I think that's a fair price. So
William Aarons offers 140 for Monmouth. Well, thank you, William. Much appreciated.
oh, thanks, William. I think he bought something else
All
too.
right,
No,
so we got stuff cooking here. Last call on Brandywine in Germantown, which is currently at 400. La Bataille de la Moskva, second edition for Clash of Arms, which is currently at 140. And we'll push Monmouth at 140 down to the last call category as well. There's no capital. You know, if I get your name wrong on this half-ass notepad thing, I apologize in advance. So if I got the letters correct, and I think I did, I think we're good. Eric from Eric's Table Napoleonic Battles offers 145 for Monmouth. Whoops, let's not do that. Let's not do that wrong.
oh wow, thank you, Eric.
We're gonna call him Mr. Table.
Yeah, and Eric's channel is phenomenal, by the way.
Oh yeah, La Bataille, Battles of the Age of Reason. If you want in-depth gameplay, absolutely run over to Eric's channel. And he's probably coming on after us. Eric, are you coming on after us tonight? Because if so, I will tell people to go over there. Alistair Logie offers 100 for Flying Colors from our friend John Longshore.
Wow. Thanks, Alistair.
Well, thank you, Alistair.
Amazing. Yes.
Alistair.
Yeah.
I'd say
Eric, no offense to Eric, but I won't be able to watch your show tonight because I'll be busy trying to pack as many of these games that I get the money for and get them ready to ship first thing in the morning. So.
All right, we got a War in the Ice $75 offer from Vicky. I'll be a little weirded out if Vicky turns out to be my sister-in-law, Vicky. I gotta tell you. I just figured I'd get that out of the way. All right, Moskva, we got Alan Salazar, we got Vicky for War in the Ice, college football. So Eric is not streaming tonight, but I'm sure he'll be streaming at least 17 more times this week. So because he works hard, unlike me. So whiskey will return next week. So a couple of undesirable bottles of whiskey were dropped off here during the holidays that I got to drink them. So
one thing I want to say, Gary, because so we're getting near the end here. So this has just been really wonderful. Really, I've been able to keep straight, but it's very emotional. Appreciate all this. But one thing I'm motivated to do when I get back next week, I'll get in touch with you, Artie, for one of your shows. I got to figure out what it will be. It'll be something decent. I want to offer up something that you can use for drawing a box game. So.
Oh, cool. Much appreciated.
I don't know what it will be yet, but no, well, me and my wife are very appreciative of this, very appreciative of it's just been.
Well, we're doing this to support brother in need, right? I mean,
Thank you.
Unnecessary.
And I will say, I'm going to admit, not that it's fun, the bad part, but this is fun because it just fits so up my, it's just, I love games. I love just everything around it. We can sit here and talk games, and I mean, I get to hang out with the famous, Ardwulf's Lair. Hey, but seriously, you do a great
My
show,
mom,
right? That's what moms are for. So,
yeah.
but I really quick, I wanted to I got to share when you asked, like, we've talked a little bit about, and you told me to shut up if I need to shut up, but uh, different moments in gaming. And I got to tell you, like, I am a huge Roger McGowan fanboy and John Hill because of Squad Leader in 1977 when that came out. Like, I don't know what else to say. I literally I mean, I got a black and white uh, original, they call it, like a print of the original Cross of Iron Squad Leader and Crescendo of Doom signed by Roger. I have a purple box Squad Leader signed by John Hill. Not in the best shape because if anybody knows, games got played back then. Okay. And, so, but I just wanted, the reason I bring it up is because what a ride, and I have this saying, people gotten emails from me, they know I'm the Wargame guy. And then my signature on Facebook has kind of become enjoy your journey, because this journey we're all on is just phenomenal, just great. And when I say that, it's, wargaming. I mean, it's been one of the reasons I'm so passionate. I mean, it's been doing it forever. I've never dropped out of the hobby. I mean, when I was in the service and my kids were small, I've been married 37 years as of the 12th of this month. My wife reminded, well, actually she didn't. I had the 10th, and I, I work all the time, or did. Right now I'm on leave till June. And, wargaming's always been just a great escape, and I've never lost the passion for it. And I hope that comes across. I want to do some more videos for my Clark, Commando 1983. That's a long story. I won't share it here, how I came up with Clark Commando, but I was in the Air Force. So, um, but, and everybody's been so supportive. I just really, love this. I can tell you, where I'm at really quick. I start chemo probably I would imagine about 2 weeks. I'm definitely, I haven't had a beer or anything for a while, and I've been like, okay, that's it. We're going out for beers. And I don't know if my brother Ron's still on. He every year comes down, and we did have a couple, one or two over Christmas, and did a bunch of AC/DC karaoke. So, or not karaoke. It was sitting in my garage telling bullshit and then, listening to AC/DC. So, anyways, a little outside of gaming, but y'all know I love it. I'm looking forward to playing Ligny. I'm going to Game More up in Oregon, small local convention that's going to happen. I think it's Albany, Oregon. Going to see a couple of buddies of mine, but I'm going to get to play Columbia Eurofront too. So
That's going to be fantastic.
Yeah. And I'm looking to Buckeye Game Fest because I know in my Air Force days, I flew in and out of Ohio a few times. I mean, I was air crew as a loadmaster, if you don't know what that was, on C-141s, all retired in the desert now. Sadly, I got over 2,000 hours. And that was in 3.5 years because you're training and all that. But I'm looking forward to that, and that's going to be quite a trip. So, and I'm looking forward to playing La Bataille. I hope I end up on the same table as you, Artie. If not, then. But it's going to be a great. I don't know. I'm super excited about it. It's going to be great.
Yeah, I'm super looking forward to it as well. Actually, I'm looking forward to doing La Bataille and all the other stuff. All right, so we are going to poll. Last call on La Bataille to the Moskva, 150 from Alan Salazar. We're calling that right now. So let's push him down to the that column, to the gone column. And like I said, I wasn't gonna, just like when I'm learning a game, I'm really not gonna understand it till I start pushing pieces around, and that's how this worked tonight. I've already got I hope we never have to do this again. But if we do, I would be better prepared next time. So Yeah, let me pull that up a bit. So, and thanks everybody else for making contributions. I'm missing some numbers here, but it is all much appreciated. We're calling Monmouth for going to Eric from Eric's Table Napoleonic Battles. Thank you, Eric. And we're about to call. Yeah, Stigler's going to be at Game More or Moray. I'm going to call it Game Moray.
Moray, all
just
right.
to make Stigler mad. And Vicky, my sister-in-law, Vicky, lives in California near Mark, so that's why it's funny.
Oh,
so, but you are probably not the same Vicky.
Okay.
My sister-in-law would not be interested in war. I think I can state that with some confidence. So, Steve Parker asked John Stanley, send an address for Long Street attacks. I'll facilitate that. If you don't want to give out your email address or you didn't see it or anything like that, send me the information, both of you, and I will get the info sent along. Did we get an offer on Jaws of Victory? I thought we did. Jaws of Victory was $100. Yes. Very good. Thank you, John from Half-Ass Gaming. And thank you. Scott Bell says Stigler will be exclusively playing decision games and solitaire. So,
I look forward to meeting
so you have not yet played The War, have you? The Compass Games, Ernie Copley, The War.
You're asking me?
Yes.
I actually have. Not recently.
Oh, okay.
When it first came out, and that's what made me a fan. I'm actually it's a great. I mean, you've played it. You did a video. It's a great combo actually. If it has elements of World in Flames in it a little bit.
Yeah.
Third Reich. It's a great combo. I'm actually working on and hopeful that with Brittany, I think's her name. Yeah, from Compass Games, and oh my God, he's going to kill me. Scott, I believe, lives in SoCal. We're working on setting up a live vassal game that we're going to try to do. So, and it's going to work out because I'm not working till June at least, and we're going to do like Wednesday, and he works a weird shift, and me and him are West Coast, and you know, Brittany, I think I got her name right too for Compass.
No, you got it right.
Stuff. She
changed her name though because she just got married.
She did. So she did.
The wedding was not at Compass Expo, but she left Compass Expo to get married.
Right. So we're trying to pull that together though. In the War, I got to tell you, I'm glad I heard you liked it.
I liked it. Yeah, I liked it a lot. It's now number 2 on my list of strategic level World War II games, I think.
Right. I still based on play, I still got to go with World at War, but it's up there.
I sympathize with you while totally disagreeing. I'm
absolutely fine, right?
So, but you know, World at War's got a lot to recommend it as well. So.
Hey, don't get me wrong. I love World in Flames. I have the latest edition. I just with the job that I had with so many hours, and you know, I
understand,
but I had the group I played with for years. I had to drop out, but I totally plan to get back to it. I love World in Flames, but I love strategic games. Who am I kidding? I mean, I like Der Weltkrieg, World War I, Balance of Power. I've actually played Der Weltkrieg, but I played Compass, the War. I got Pacific. I even have the expansion, which you can't have.
It's hard to get now.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm a big fan. People always ask all the time, well, how do you just compare to that? And they'll say, compare World at War to World in Flames. I go, you can't compare them. Same war, but
very different games.
I mean, a little bit. Their core level.
Thanks, William Aarons. We'll take this as a thank you for contributing to the GoFundMe as well. So,
thanks.
I'd rather you sent the $2 to Mark in this case, but thank you. I assume you gave him more than $2, which is good and appropriate. I mean, so World in Flames is the same. The two games are very different, right? They land in very different places between World at War and World in Flames. World at War is the direct successor to Third Reich, right? It the unbroken Third Reich successor all the way down to World at War. Whereas Harry Rowland in the early 80s, I think, or mid 80s or something like that, kind of answered the questions that were presented him by Third Reich, and World in Flames is what we got. So they look very different, but man, the DNA is all there in all these strategic level World War II games.
Right.
They all lean so heavily on Third Reich, even where they decided to throw away what Third Reich did in favor of something new, right? Let's close with Alan Salazar's question here. I think we are last call on War on the Ice. I'm moving it to gone. So everything's gone. So Vicky is the winner for $75 of SPI's War on the Ice. I hope I didn't miss anybody. So I'm gonna after we're done here, I'm gonna take a break, and then I'm gonna go through all the emails that people sent me and make sure that everybody gets connected to everybody else that needs to get connected to people connected that they're connected to. Yeah. So, but let me close with Mark. Alan Salazar asks, "What's your favorite military subject?" I interpret this as meaning, "What's your favorite wargaming period?" But
okay,
you can interpret
so I'll try to actually answer that in 2 ways. I would say my favorite period overall, if you make me pick one, is World War II. I mean, I don't know, my age, whatever, we grew up, I still read voraciously about, World War II, but I love everything about it from, studying it and reading about it from the tactical level. I play ASL all the way up to strategic level, naval games. Like, I have no limits, but so favorite periods, World War II. If the question is what's your kind of like favorite scale, which I don't think it was, if I had to pick, that's not fair to pick one, but if I had to pick one, I'd probably pick strategic. But I have been playing ASL since 1986 when it came out, off and on. I mean, there have been times in my life where I stopped, but
sure.
But yeah, I just love war games. I over the years, but so the answer to your question, World War II.
Fair enough.
Strategic if I had to pick. So thankfully I don't.
I sympathize with strategic. I have leaned a lot more into operational in recent years, but the first love was strategic for me as well.
So. Well, I know my group, if any of them on here, and what I mean by, I don't know if they are, but like, there's a group of guys that love monsters: Tim Burgess, Kevin Meelan, David Miller, and we're kind of like we tend to always. GOS is a system that we all have, and actually Russ, who's on here, I don't know if he's still on, but him and Paul Rozak, and this is some of my quote unquote relatively local group, but they're playing BCS, right? But we want to BCS, and I would say GOS is definitely like, I want to get it. Hope I can get it to the table.
I will provide you with a full report from Winterfest.
Okay, great. Sounds great. And,
all right, folks.
That's it.
All right, folks. So, Mark, thanks for coming. I think we did pretty good for you here tonight. So we'll get all the emails. It's frankly going to probably take like 24 hours to get all the emails puzzles all sorted out. But I'll do my part of it tonight, and then we'll do the rest of my part of it tomorrow when I get out of bed. I want to thank everybody for a really strong showing. I think we did really well for Mark and his wife tonight. So thanks to the wargaming community that showed up. Mark, our thoughts are with you, and thanks for coming.
Thanks, Artie. I really appreciate it. And just really quick, I'll get this as much as I can. Get the payment to my PayPal. Make sure I get your address, and I will be working to get as many of these games out in the morning as I can, and the rest will go out when I get back from Game War on the 18th or 19th. And
all right, and have fun. I want a full report from Game Moray.
You're going to see pictures from me on Facebook at least, and So
yes, so I will study them closely because I'm never going to get there. So the pictures are going to have to do.
Well, it's be Eurofront Columbia Games, so
that's awesome though. I would love to play that. All right, folks, we got to go. Thanks for everybody for coming. Thanks everybody for all the help. And thanks, Mark, for being here for all of us.
Appreciate it.